No one really prepares you for the fact that that's probably the only time you'll ever be doing what you love that much.
I think sometimes you've got to have a bit of a business brain as well as a creative brain.
And just to bring in graduates so that other graduates know that there are people who are going through a similar journey.
You can go to LAMDA and not get an agent, and it really doesn't make a difference because you make your own luck.
The longest I did was about 5-6 months where I just didn't have anything.
I am an actor, and in spite of how much work I get or don't get,
Welcome to the podcast studio. Well,
you.
I say it's a podcast studio. It's actually the M Restaurant.
it's beautiful.
It's a private. Thank you. So it's a private members club here in Bank City.
Bougie.
It's really bougie. It's really cool.
So the reason I've invited you in is because you're both graduates from LAMDA.
Oxford School of Drama.
Or we're doing a new section of Be Seen, which is the grad talks. And just to bring in graduates so that other graduates know that there are people who are going through a similar journey. Not everyone's journey is the same, but there is something that you've experienced and you've experienced that, you know, other graduates can relate to.
Yeah.
We've got Francesca and we've got Kiara. Sorry, I didn't say your name. But before we get into the serious stuff.
Okay, I'm nervous.
Game. We're going to play a little game.
Okay.
Nice.
So I'll give you a statement and you tell me whether it's true or false.
Okay.
A chicken once lived for 18 months without a head.
True. I think I read about this.
Okay. I'm going
to go false. I think it lived for like 3 days.
Okay.
Or something.
So false? True.
So I'm going to go.
It is true.
Yes.
Oh my God.
2-1 so far. Yeah, it's true.
I need what you're drinking.
I should have waited for you to answer then.
Its name was Miracle Mike.
Oh my God, that's so sad.
The thing is with chickens, they have the way their brain is like if a certain part gets cut off, it can still continue living.
That's grim.
That's dark, I know. Was it an accident or did they do it on purpose? I don't think I want to find out.
The name Jessica was invented by Shakespeare.
False.
Okay, I should know. I know some names have been invented by Shakespeare. I don't think Jessica is.
Is it biblical? Does it go that far back?
What, Shakespeare or
No.
the name?
Okay, what's your answer?
False.
False.
It's true.
Who's called Jessica in Shakespeare?
First found in The Merchant of Venice.
Oh, I don't know that one.
Okay.
Yeah. So no points there. Bats are blind.
True.
False. I think they're like almost blind.
1 point. They're false. It's false.
I'm a bit competitive, by the way.
Bats are not blind. They do have partial vision, but they use other senses to
Oh,
get
I was
around.
so
But
right.
It's a myth. NASA spent over $165 million on a space pen, while Russia just used a pencil.
Stop it.
I'm gonna.
If that's true, then that's just
I'm gonna say true because it just
yeah.
sounds absurd and
something NASA would do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd say true to that as well.
Unfortunately, it's false.
Damn it.
However, the truth is, NASA ordered 34 mechanical pencils, each costing $128.89. Okay, next one. So 1 in every 200 men on Earth is a descendant of Genghis Khan.
I think this is true
I do as well.
because I think I've listened to a podcast about this recently.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We have to investigate that.
It-
Why
it-
you?
Yeah. I think that's true as well.
Okay, yep. It's true.
I listened to that on a podcast as well.
If I didn't get
So
one right.
16 million men in Central Asia are descendants of
Well, I thought like a lot of people in the world as a result are like, so 1 in how many of us could be?
He got around,
Yeah, he did get around.
So the final score was 3-1 one.
Oh,
So
well done.
Jessica.
Well
I mean,
done.
Francesca.
Jessica, thank you very much.
I know, right? Okay, let's get into it. So, what are some things that you are both sure about at drama school that when you got into the industry, it was a bit of a culture shock?
Before Lambda, I trained somewhere in like 2016, like a part-time course. And so after I finished there, I think that was when it was the most stark contrast, because you spend all your time doing this thing you love. And you kind of, no one really prepares you for the fact that that's probably the only time you'll ever be doing what you love that much, realistically. Or at least for a lot of people. And I kind of just assumed that things would just fall into place. And I remember writing to all the top agents and not really looking at all the others, thinking, oh this will work.
You're not alone,
No.
Francesca. You are not alone.
And I hadn't really done my research, and I didn't know what it was like to be an actor. I think I just thought it would be straight in the mix, and it was just not the case.
Yeah, like a normal job.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty much.
Like you go to university, you graduate, you do an internship, you get a job.
Yeah.
Kind of similar. I've kind of been a graduate twice because it's great fun being a graduate. Because I did musical theatre when I was a bit younger.
Oh, really?
Oh, okay.
Graduated, was out a couple of years, and then went back and did a postgrad at Oxford on the 1 year, which is one of the best things I've decided to do. So I think I was lucky that I kind of had already experienced being a graduate in some capacity, but it is very different being a graduate this time. I've found this is just one of the things like that you think you're gonna like continue at drama school. I'm gonna sound like such an actor. Doing like you do like so much vocal work in drama school, and you think, yeah, I'm gonna do this every day. I'm gonna like put in the effort. And then and I'm like, I don't know how often I do that. But I think it's like you're saying, you're in that mindset where you're doing it every single day, and you just think like that's going to continue. So it's even stuff that you are in control of is so different after you leave, I think. Can
I add to that? I feel like when you're at drama school, you feel like an actor because you're acting.
Yeah.
And I think after I graduated both times, I keep having to remind myself I am an actor.
Yeah.
Despite what I spend most of my time doing, and in spite of how much work I get or don't get, I am an actor. And so if people ask me what I do, I'll lead with I'm an actor, if not for my own sanity.
Yeah.
But like just telling yourself that that you are.
Yeah,
I felt,
you have to, for sure. I was speaking to our mutual friend Sammy about this because she has recently jumped back into it after, and she kind of got it in her head that she could only say she was an actor if she was actually in an acting job.
Yeah.
And we were kind of saying to her, no, because that's like 10% of the time, like 90% of the time you're not going to be acting, but you are still an actor.
Yeah.
Like you've got to just say you are, and you'll feel more like one as well.
I mean, we've all paid enough money to train to be able to say we're actors.
Because it's that thing, isn't it? Because as an actor, which is not similar to other industries, you have to do something else to survive.
Yeah.
So it's like, am I an actor though? Because I'm having to do this other job just to be able to do this job.
Yeah.
Which is meant to be my full-time job.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, which one am I? And sometimes, I don't know, it's like I feel like imposter syndrome as well sometimes. Like you said, I'm not in a job. I'm doing cover work at a school.
Yeah.
And the kids are like, so what do you do? Are you going to be our teacher full time? I'm like, no. No, I'm not going to be a teacher full time. So the theme of the show is that things you wish you knew.
Yeah.
What are some other things that you wish you knew? And is there a part of your journey where you were certain about something and then that just kind of got flipped on its head?
I think I approached it as a bit of a competition before with myself and with other people. And I think because there only are a finite amount of roles out there, etc. And there are a lot of people. It's 98% of actors aren't acting at any given time.
Is that the statistic?
So 2% of actors make their living from acting. So you feel like there's an element of competition. And I kind of thought that was what it would be like going in. And actually, the thing that I found the most refreshing for me is that when you support each other, when you send each other links, when you don't gatekeep information.
Oh my God.
When you send each other podcasts you like, this is a casting that would work for you. Oh my gosh, I've heard this agency's got their books open. They will do the same for you. Also, it's just, it keeps your friendships with other actors really good. And also like the right role will find you. And if you're not right for that role, that there's a reason for that. And it's not because you're not good, because I've heard directors say that every time someone comes into the room, they already know that you're good. Otherwise you wouldn't be there. They just want to see if that role is right. And if it's not, then there will be one that is perfect for you. And actually seeing it as less as a competition and more as like, there are loads of opportunities. Some of them will be for you. Some of them will be for other people. But the more you share amongst people, it's just like, it's
so much nicer as well. And it's actually like so much less exhausting if you just like let go of that like bitter feeling, which is hard. Don't get me wrong. Like we've all been in a position where that's been really tough, but you actually, I feel like you waste so much energy on feeling down about yourself and feeling like, not happy for other people, but just like thinking that everyone else is doing better than you just because one person got one thing or someone got an audition for what. Like
that's so hard. I need to stay off of Instagram.
Hard. Yeah, well, I was just about to say it's the social media thing, isn't it?
It's a massive, massive thing. But it is like if you find a way to let go of that, like you were saying, it is actually so much nicer, and you're then more free to be like, I'm just gonna do my thing and like be happy for other people. But it's hard,
and it is hard because
easier said than
there's
done.
always going to be someone that looks like they're doing better and that looks like
especially
their time has come, or they've got XYZ, and it will come. I think it's just the nature of it, and I think I'm not sure whether it's a time thing. You're just getting used to it, and then the peaks and troughs of it. I do think that to be an actor, you have to be an optimist in some way.
Yeah, you do.
And I think it's contagious. If you bring the optimism to other actors and share that stuff,
it'll come back to you.
You manage to keep your sanity a bit more.
So what was the thing that you wish you knew?
In a sort of like admin-y, boring side of things, I think I just really underestimated how good it feels and potentially how useful it is to just really be on top of admin stuff, like be on top of your casting directors. Like I've gone quite extra these days and I have like a spreadsheet of
there's like a million.
Industry, just like stuff I've created for myself, like people I would love to audition for, people I have auditioned for, like what I've auditioned. Like it's a really like organized thing, and even like it's come in handy maybe like once or twice in terms of like getting a nice reply or even getting a tape.
Nice.
But on the whole, it's mainly just really nice for me as a feeling to know I feel on top of that side of things, and kind of doing as much as I can do myself with that. And I think I underestimated like how useful I find that personally. I know like not everyone does, but and you kind of feel a bit extra and a bit like sad doing it, but I think sometimes you've got to have a bit of a business brain as well as a creative brain.
Can't agree more.
Yeah.
I don't want to add to that if there's not time.
No, you can add to.
I feel another thing that I think I learned as well, that you kind of expect things to be handed to you on a plate because
or just
I've
fall
trained
into
etc.
something. Yeah.
And like when I first trained, I didn't get an agent, and then when I did, I was really fortunate to get one. But that also wasn't for lack of trying. I mean, it took me years to get into Lambda. I had to fundraise so hard. We didn't get a showcase, so we put our own on.
Wow.
And off the back of that, I know it's a long story.
What course did you do?
The MA,
the classical.
Yeah, so they had a showcase in New York and LA.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't do one in London, so me and someone else produced one, and I got an agent from that. And I was like, so you do really have to put your back into it. I mean, I first auditioned 10 years before I got into Lambda. You can go to Lambda and not get an agent, and it really doesn't make a difference because you make your own luck. And I hate that term.
I know.
But because it doesn't mean to say if you work hard, you'll do really well. Alexa Morden says control the controllables, and it's like anything that you can control, because you are a business, you are your own product. And I think you don't learn that so much, and so you can't even now have an agent. I don't leave everything up to them. I have a similar spreadsheet. Yours sounds amazing though.
Right? You need to share that. Girl.
Yeah, and if I see a play that I really love, I'll write down the name of the director, the casting director, and the actors that I really loved. I tell myself that I'll write to them, I never do. But I have done it once or twice. And then you're on the radar a little bit.
Yeah, you just never know as well. Like, I mean, the last production I did, I used a spreadsheet to invite people, and I'm talking like 40 emails, and I maybe got like 5 replies.
I mean, that's not bad.
All saying, sorry, I can't make it. But at least I've done it. And like, but it's that optimist thing.
Yeah.
Like, kind of what you were saying, I think a big thing that I've realized recently is just how much you have to get out your own way as well.
Yeah.
And like, it's in ways that you wouldn't necessarily expect as well. Everyone says, oh, I'm not good at networking. I hate networking. And nobody likes networking. Nobody's good at it. Like, we all just kind of have to do it because that's what you do. Like,
It's an awful word, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so icky. And like, and I don't know anyone who likes it, but there comes a point where you're like, I have to be that guy. I have to send emails. I have to like, and also that can come in so many different forms as well. It doesn't have to be like actually going to a networking event. It's like everything you do where you're socializing with creative people is a form of networking, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's,
I mean, I before I went to Lambda, I was in the industry for 3 months. I was testing it out until I realized I need to go to full-time drama school. Because the competition was just too great. I'm like, okay, I need to. So I sent out casting director emails, as you do. And 2 of them got back to me. One of them was for Conversations with Friends.
Wow.
So, thank you.
Nice.
Yeah, I got an audition for that.
That's amazing.
I know. and then the next one I got was for The Lark.
Can you send me
Did that
the
ever
email
come
that you sent to them?
It wasn't even like anything fancy. It was just, I just kept it very short.
Yeah.
Very simple. And I attached my showreel scene.
Nice.
But then after I graduated from Lambda, I was like, cool, I could do the same thing. If I got that before I trained, I could do that after I trained. Tumbleweeds.
Yeah.
It
is sometimes though, isn't it? Like,
But you're making your own luck now. Like, this is incredible.
Oh my God.
It's so impressive.
I was thinking that as well. It's really cool.
Appreciate it. If you can tell us, how long have you been in the industry post-graduation, and how has it been for you in terms of getting work?
So since Oxford, so I graduated end of September 2022.
Okay.
So pretty much exactly 2 years, I think. And I've been quite lucky, and I know it's quite unusual. I've managed to pick up decent jobs, a couple of shows at the Southwark Playhouse, and then also just through friends and people I'm close with in my life, put on our own work and done our own kind of productions, which has been quite cool. And also, like, so much to learn. I'd recommend doing it, even just to be on the other side of things. I've also been quite unlucky in the productions I've done because I've found myself in situations, whether it's financial or whatever else, which haven't been great. I won't like name it, but the production I've just done got cut short because of funding issues. People might look and say that I've like done a few good shows, but it's like such a different story when you're on the other side of it, because it's just that social media thing again. It's like, doesn't necessarily mean that like, oh, I'm great all the time and like living my best life, because it's like, actually even when you're doing it, sometimes it's not all you think it's going to be.
Right.
But in general, I've got a really good support system, which is also key in this industry, and even more so now since that last show I did. I've made some like great friends, so I'm really lucky in that respect as well, and just I'm around a lot of creative people, which has been good too.
How about you, Francesca?
So I graduated pretty much exactly the same time as you, actually. September, October 2022. I got a muggle job. I know not everyone subscribes to that word. I started like 2 days after my final show, and I was very lucky. I started as a temp. They took me on full time, and I was like, I need a flexible job because I'm an actor, and they said we will make it work. And I've been just saying prove it ever since. The beauty of that situation is that I don't really get much work, so I haven't had to leave, and it's my saving grace really has been my day-to-day job, because it really fulfills me. It's regular. I'm really bad with like hospitality and shift work. I need to know what I'm doing every day. I need to know where I'm going. And it sounds boring, but like I do well in an office.
Yeah. That's so good to have that stability as well.
I'm so lucky, and I really love everyone I work with. I have quite a lot of agency, and as and when things come up, I take annual leave. Only one time last year, I needed to take a little bit more, and they let me take unpaid leave. It will work until it doesn't. My tip, if it was to, I know this wasn't the question. My tip for graduating actors: find a job that you're really happy doing, because the chances are you'll be not acting very often. Find a place that you feel really happy at, that you can imagine yourself being at, and that respects the fact that you're an actor, and celebrate that. But also, if you can find somewhere that is flexible at the same time, it's great.
You lucked out.
I cannot tell you how much I lucked out.
Where do you work?
So I work in
hiring?
an office. It's basically, I went through a temping agency, and I found a lot of temping agencies often have you to stay on, and because you start on quite a flexible basis, and they know you're an actor. And my role is quite people facing, so it's But anyway, sorry, that wasn't the question.
You can do the tip, because that was the next question I was going to ask. What's one piece of advice that you give to graduate?
That will be my advice: to find a job that you are fulfilled in enough, so that if you're not acting all the time, you still feel like a complete person. Work-wise, I wrote a short one-woman piece when I was at drama school, and then I basically extended that and took that to Scratch Nights and developed it, and then I put it on last year. It's been a year ago now, and it, like you said, just writing or putting something on, it just made me feel like I was doing something. It made me feel like there was control. I had auditions. I was really lucky. A lot of things that didn't go my way, but it just being in the room was exciting. And like, oh wow! And I've learned that casting directors know who you are. I've just filmed 2 adverts, which is wild.
Ooh,
and I've just learned that there is no acting talent involved in adverts. It's just
absolutely
a vibe.
Zero. Like it took me a while to be like, just be yourself, Mary. Like just don't try.
Yeah, and you have no idea what they're looking for. But I landed 2 in 2 weeks, and it's the only ones I've got. And I'm like, money, and I can't wait for that to hit my bank account. Thank you. I had a tiny bit part in a period drama. It got a little bit X-rated.
I've seen it.
Yep. I'm in a fraction of a second, but it was an amazing opportunity. And someone I met years ago did a show that I was in last year, and this year they carried it on. So I've been really lucky. And I know at the grand scheme of things, that's like a month's worth of work in 2 years, maybe. Overall.
Welcome to the actor's life.
That's so true.
I don't mind at this stage. Like,
you got to take the wins as well.
You've got it good, Francesca, because you got your job, and then you can dip in and out of it. So,
and I'm scared. You know what? The weird thing is, I'm scared if my agent sends me a role that it's not necessarily something I would love to do, but it would be a role, and I'm not sure whether to take it, because then I'd be leaving my job forever potentially. And I'm like, I could do this role, not love it, and then be unemployed for the next however long. It's quite scary, but I'm going to hold on to it until something comes along.
And Kiara, final words of wisdom that you've kind of gained from being in the industry that you'd love someone to know that you wish that you knew.
Goes back to what we were saying about trying to find a way to celebrate your friends in the industry and their wins as much as your own. That then ties into just finding a good support system and a tip just for life as well as the industry. Just get off social media for 5 months. Just do it. It's hard. I've done it recently. I think the longest I did was about 5-6 months where I just didn't have anything. And I have never felt so good.
I'm so in awe.
It's weird. It's kind of hard because we're all kind of addicted to it.
I'm so addicted to it. It's that dopamine hit.
It is. But if you can, you don't need to do it forever, but if you can just every so often take a break and just get back into the real world, that's a big tip. And I wish I knew that for the past however many years.
Can I add one more thing?
Yeah, sure.
Probably over everything else is just cultivate a really good life that is nothing to do with acting. What I found is that I have a lot of friends that aren't actors and a lot of friends that are. And sometimes I get overwhelmed in not thinking I'm doing good enough in the acting world. And actually that's because I'm comparing myself. Or either comparing myself or we're all moaning about it together. And actually it's been really good for my sanity to have other hobbies.
That's what I need to work on actually. I think that's now I need to tell myself to, because majority of my friends are actors. And majority of the stuff I do is to do with acting or creating or whatever. And I think I need a hobby.
A side hustle.
I'm just not one of those people that can go play football randomly. I'm just like, what am I going to do with that?
Oh, and therapy.
Yeah.
No, it's actually important.
Is
I had
therapy
therapy at the end, like the last few weeks of drama school. And I'm like, why did I not do this at the beginning?
Yeah.
It was so helpful.
This is a bit of a tip as well with that. Equity, if you remember, does this great thing where if you've suffered mentally from an acting experience or a job experience you were in, they have this thing you can apply for where they basically pay for you to have therapy sessions.
That's incredible.
Nice. And I did that after one of my unlucky situations last year. And it was amazing. It helps.
I do think everyone should have therapy, but I do think as well, actors, we are emotional. We're empathetic people, so I think
we're ridiculous.
We are wild, I know, and I do think it's a tough industry. So therapy. Get therapy.
All right, ladies, thank you so much.
Thank you
for joining me on this show. How can people find you? Quickly, handles.
Kira Murray _ I'm just on Instagram sometimes off.
Amazing. And
I'm on Twitter. I'm not sure if that's still a thing anymore. I'm not sure if people use it. I'm not sure if I'm still using it anymore. Francesca D'Souza or Instagram, but my Instagram's private. But
okay, cool. If you want to accept them, at least.
Yeah, you can
attempt. Make an attempt. All right, thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right.